the New York Buzz has Martina Hingis playing the entire season.
The entire season? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
wow.
the whole season. And we played them twice here at Kastles Stadium.
Okay.
You know, I think the most fun is to come back and go through DC and in and around the city and in the area here is be the most, you know, the franchise that has the title. Mm-hmm. It's fun to be, you know, going to a media place or a news place and they're talking about rebuilding the Redskins or working on the Wizards.
Well, the rebuilding Redskins has been going on for about 20 years.
The Capitals struggling, and it's like, you know, and some fella with 9 Super Bowl rings says, you know, who are you with? And I'm like, I'm with the world champion Kastles.
That's true, actually. I mean, the Kastles are hands down the best sports team in DC right now. When you think about it, that's I hadn't
hands
even.
Down.
I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's not, you know, and it's exciting, and the team's solid. Like you said, the team is stacked. Bobby Reynolds has been a top 40 singles and doubles player.
Reynolds
He's
is great.
A heck of a guy. He's extremely fit. He works his butt off. Angela Haynes is a former MVP in World Team Tennis in 2006. She had a great season last year. To put things into perspective, she had beaten our Olga Puchkova, who was our hero, 6-0 or 5-0 in her event in Sacramento. She brings a lot of heat, and the quality of players and the team at the end of the day, I have to get this team to gel and to care about winning and care about DC and care about each other enough to outdig, outfight, outscrap, and outwork every other team in the league. I mean, everyone will be trying to beat us.
Well, I think, you know, looking at the roster, I think one of the strongest parts of the team is the doubles. You have Leander Paes and Rennae Stubbs, who are world-class doubles players. I mean, Leander, how many majors does he have? He's
over
got
10.
I mean, it's just...
They both have over 10,
Sure.
and the combined with all 4 of those guys, with Venus and Serena, is 61, and I think I have one too. So
yeah, it's true. And then one on the
62.
bench too, in case you need to toss one more in there.
Yeah. And Mark Ine hasn't won a Grand Slam yet, but I'm sure it's out there.
Well, he's in the gym training, right, Mark?
Well, he
owner,
has
right?
points. He's now on the tour.
Okay.
He's got ATP points, and you never know. It's a new year, 2010. You know, win a Grand Slam.
Well, he can do the what's the U.S. Open thing where he can play your way into. There's anybody can play.
I think he's working on that. I want to say he beat Bodie Miller in the downhill, the downhill tennis, and.
Bodie Miller is trying to win this this singles thing or what? I'm not sure exactly what the tournament. He's got no shot.
There's some animals out there. I mean, this guy's a skier.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure he's a pretty good tennis player. It's like saying that Jim Courier could go out and play professional baseball. He used to play as a kid, or myself, I would be, you know, quarterback for the, you know, Colts or something. That's insane.
Well, the one guy who might be able to do pro ball. You ever hear that story about Agassi in the batting cage, where he ends up 95-mile-an-hour fastballs? He's not just stationary hitting them. He starts running up and swinging because his hand-eye is so good. Just
No. He also did that with the golf ball. No, I think the only guy that could play baseball would be Courier. He was the best baseball
Was he?
player.
Okay.
Agassi, what sport would he have been? I bet he'd have been a good boxer. You know.
Sure, he's pretty stocky too.
And the gloves would just slide off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, tell me, I want to know a little bit more about doubles because particularly our web audience real into doubles.
Yeah.
And you know, with Leander and Rennae, I mean, you have obviously the mixed doubles team there. But then there's the men's doubles with Leander and Bobby, and you're going to have Rennae and Angela playing. So I mean, those are some solid. I mean, those are 3 out of the 5 matches. That's a big chunk of the points, the games you need to win a lot of matches.
In those 5 events, 3 of those are doubles, like you're saying. And when the Williams sisters play, oh my God, we've got Venus or Serena playing with Leander or Rennae Stubbs. That's solid. We're looking at 4 events. That we should win.
Sure.
I mean, it'll be tough for anybody to beat those guys. And the reason the core group, that's 7 matches. Now the core group, like you're saying with Leander, Rennae, and Bobby, Angie, Leander and Rennae will be unstoppable because typically they're the ones that the Williams sisters usually struggle to beat is Leander and Rennae, either in women's doubles or in mixed doubles with Leander. What they do and what they bring is, having multiple Grand Slam titles each. Leander, in my opinion, is the best doubles player, male or female, on the planet right now.
Really?
Pound for pound, the guy's a Wolverine on the court in doubles. And if you get a chance, you've seen him, but he does things so differently. He did.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
He does what the Woodies did. You know, Todd Woodbridge and Mark Woodford didn't win 5 straight Wimbledons with power. They would use the lob off the return serve, the chip and the slice and the dice, and they're using their speed and their quickness, and they're moving around, and then power when needed, but then soft when needed. And they're constantly changing it up. And I think, and Leander's taken what the Woodies did, but put steroids on it because he's so fast and so powerful. He has a workout regime that's just unparalleled. Nobody else puts in the work. And I said to him last year, sitting on the bench, like, how? Because he played when I was playing. He was playing in '91. He beat Sampras in '92. He's been around for like
he's been around the
35 years. I guess you don't get as old in India as quick. And he said, every year I've added a new trick. I've added a new dimension to my game. And as my body has, either gotten slower or, stronger or weaker, I've had to implement new ways to win. And that makes sense. And a lot of people tell me, I don't think Rod Laver could have ever played in today's game. But I look at Andre Agassi in 1987. If you watch that match with Mats Wilander, it looks like a 16 and under junior match. At the French Open, the ball is just like, there's
rolling it back. There's not a ton of power on it, and a lot of pace on it.
But if you look 20 years later, he's playing Roger Federer in the semis or finals of the U.S. Open and has a chance in the 4th set to win it. So he adapted. He adapted to the power. He adapted to everything like Leander does. And then Rennae Stubbs, she just brings a work ethic. I mean, the idea, and I want to be a part of a team that has great characters, not only personalities, but more importantly, have just are solid guys that are going to, you can count on them. And I look at the size of their heart as opposed to their ranking. Because there's a lot of guys with great rankings. You bring Safin and Murat Safin in here, and he starts going bananas on the court,
smashing some rackets,
which is kind of cool. But
but maybe not for.
But you don't need a guy going south for the winner. Like Jim Irsay with the Indianapolis Colts, he looks at those things in the draft. He told me once that if he could find a way to judge a player's heart, you look at Tom Brady was like the 4th round, or Jerry Rice was barely drafted. You get guys like that. If you're able to find those guys, and hopefully we found that Angela Haynes. I've known her for 6 or 7 years. I mean, we're talking 2 months before the season, and we're talking about how we're going to get together before the season to make sure everyone's, because no person, I said to her, we have a team that can win this thing again and make sure we're ready to go. And she has the type of game that can win again. She feels comfortable in this format. I think some of the struggles I had last year as a coach, which was getting Scott up to speed or Olga up to speed, because everyone else was ready to go. I mean, Leander was in the finals of the mixed doubles of Wimbledon. Rennae was in the finals of doubles of Wimbledon, and Serena had won singles and doubles. So we had 4 Wimbledon finals before the season started. So the struggle was getting those other players up to speed. I don't think I'll have that problem this year with Scott. Or with Boom Boom Bobby, Boom Boom Bobby Reynolds, and Boom Boom Scott's gone. And Olga Puchkova.
Okay, well, let's talk about that heart question, that big heart, because the Kastles are doing a ton of charity stuff around town, right? Pro-ams and some events for underprivileged youth and everything. So I mean, I remember just last year that was before a lot of the matches, you'd have kids out there. Hitting some tennis balls, and then what I thought was really cool afterwards, you get this big long table, everybody sits down, signs everybody's autograph for all these, 14 and under, 13 and under, all those kids.
Well, if you see any World Team Tennis match, when the match is over, anyone under 16 gets an autograph. Every single person. To get what you see at Kastles Stadium, the 7 matches at home, to be able to experience that intimacy and the close quarters where you're sitting right next to basically Serena or Venus.
You're right on the court.
To do that at the U.S. Open for 7 nights or for 1 night would cost you $2,000 for 1 night. It costs you $10,000 to go to the U.S. Open for 7 nights with hotel and travel and your $85 hamburger and $300.
Those are good hamburgers, though.
Pretty good. And it's really great. You're bouncing the ball if you're playing at the U.S. Open. That smoke goes right onto the courts, and you're like, oh man, I'm getting hungry in the 5th set. You're smelling hamburger on tennis ball. But